Hey friends, welcome back to the Life of a Makeup Artist podcast. I have not only a friend, but a fellow Trini who works with me quite often. Don't tell my secrets, huh? Anya has been on the podcast before, so welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you going?
I'm good. Long time no see.
Yeah, was it yesterday?
Sunday.
Into Monday?
Sunday into Monday. Yes.
Yeah,
so
yesterday.
yesterday.
So Anya is quite the artist. She is a makeup artist that works on celebrity talent, beauty shoots. She's also a bridal artist and a lash extension artist and a mom of four. We have plenty to talk about
We
today.
do have a lot to talk about.
Because I still don't know how you just do it. But before we get into all of that, how are you? How are you going?
I'm good. I'm really good. I feel like I'm in a really nice place, family-wise and career-wise.
I feel like that is the dream that a lot of people want.
Yeah.
You know?
It took a long time to get there, but I feel like I can say that I feel good.
That's great.
How are you?
Oh, thank you for asking. I'm good. There's a lot happening, but you know, we make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always on your a lot happenings.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. I want to start with your journey. I want you to tell us a bit about yourself before the makeup and the lashes and all of that came along.
Okay. So I actually was a singer-songwriter for a very long time. I started singing when I was maybe 5, and that sounds ridiculous because everybody thinks they
Really?
sing at 5. Yeah.
You're singing soca hits?
I was singing Marshall songs.
Wait, what?
I used to sing everything. I would go up for every single talent show that was in school. But my dream, like if anybody had asked me what my purpose was, it was to be a singer-songwriter. I left Trinidad and I came here to do that, to pursue that. I came on a team and we were doing media and a lot of shows. I actually visited with a lot of labels and I started writing and performing for a very long time. Wow. Yeah. And then, girl, I got pregnant.
With the first
with the
one?
twins. So I got pregnant with twins.
You didn't know they were going to be twins, right?
No, that was stressful.
Right.
Because I actually came to do music. And, you know, as the story goes, you fall in love. I know you're doing things that you're not supposed to be doing.
Man.
I like man. I like one man in particular. And I got pregnant. And, you know, when that happened, I was still writing music and I started getting called less and less. And then the executive that had taken me to a particular label, he ended up getting switched out with somebody else. And so that whole idea of doing music really kind of just, to me, I wouldn't say fell to the wayside, but now I had to battle with the fact that you have 2 people to take care of now. And so my focus was shifted onto that. So I put music down for about 2 years after that.
It was probably hard, right?
It was really hard. But, you know, I think I have to take accountability too, because I came up here to pursue my dreams and I wasn't focused enough on my dreams at the time to be like, nothing else is important.
Right.
So I put music down for 2 years. And I had told my husband, my then boyfriend at the time, I was like, I want to do music. And he was like, I'll make sure that you do music after, you know, we have our kids. And so I held him to that. 2 years passed. And as soon as I could get back onto the stage, I did. And a year after that, I was recording an album. My throat was giving me a lot of issues. I thought it was like overuse because we were recording almost every night. And lo and behold, I ended up having thyroid cancer.
Wow.
I think they call it papillary carcinoma.
Wow.
Yeah. And I kind of got really angry with God because I was like, I come here to do this. I know this is my purpose.
Right.
And I have cancer in the place that I use for my instrument, you know. So I struggled with that for a long time. And I lost my voice for 4 months. And when they actually went in to do the stage...
When you say lost your voice, can't talk at all?
Can't talk for 4 months. So I went back to vocal coaches and they helped me to speak and to sing again.
Mm-hmm.
But my voice was changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't the same. I wasn't able to hold notes the same. And I kind of lost a little bit of the spark because I was so angry about that. And I don't know, it changed. I started getting focused on the fact that we now have 2 kids to take care of. My husband was doing his thing, making sure we were okay and providing for our family. And so I switched gears into, trying to sing every now and again, but really into like, okay, help being a provider now in this way.
Right.
And so that was the end of that. I have a degree in marketing and advertising.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I
You never
do.
told me that.
So my parents, they're Caribbean parents, they're not gonna let
They don't
you
play that.
If you say I want to be a singer, they'll be like, that's cute.
Exactly.
Where's your degree? So
You went to UE?
No, I went to college in England. That was also their orchestration too, because I actually wanted to stay in Trinidad. I wanted to go to UE, if I couldn't sing.
Right.
And my dad was like, no, you need to explore the world. You need to see things outside of Trinidad. He was very adamant on us exploring and learning about cultures outside of our own. So yeah, I went to school for 4 years. Funny story though, that's actually how I met my husband. In my last year of university, I went to, remember Trinidad make it to the World Cup in 2006? I went to Germany for a modeling gig and ended up meeting him there. Insane. I mean, we didn't get together at that time, but that's the first time I met him.
It's so crazy. You can't plan those things, huh?
Listen.
And for those who are listening, UE is the University of the West Indies, just so you know.
Yeah. So, back on track, as I was saying, I have a degree, but I tried to get work here with that degree and couldn't. So I had to do the restaurant gig. I started as a waitress, ended up managing, and we moved to Connecticut and I couldn't find a job again. And so I went into Sephora and I was like, all right, I've done makeup a few times before. I know how to manage people. And because my focus was on, I know how to manage, so I'll go into Sephora and look for a management job.
Right.
And they were like, nah, you have to work the floor.
Pick up this brush for me, please.
Pick up this brush. Show us you could do a demo and hold that $10 an hour.
Right.
And I was like, I was so devastated because I was like, no, I need to make cash money.
Right, exactly.
But going back to when I said I was really angry with God, I feel like hindsight is a hell of a thing because it was at Sephora I met my first mentor. And she started teaching me on the low, like we would after work go to her home and she would teach me how to use a lot of the products, teach me about skin. And it was there that I fell in love with makeup because not necessarily the idea of makeup, but what it could do for people.
Right.
So yeah. That's my story into my even introduction into makeup. I used to model in Trinidad and that kind of stuff too, but makeup, I wasn't
a
makeup person at all. You know.
So you're into makeup now, but what inspired you to get into the world of lash extensions?
So, in 2019, in February of 2019, I was still trying to carve out a piece of the market for myself as a bridal artist. And it was a little difficult because bridal grows based on referrals. And I was in a space where I didn't fully understand business yet, the idea of networking, the idea of marketing, those kind of things. And my goal had always been to own my own business. So I'm looking down the line and I'm like, I want to gain knowledge in any beauty service that I could get on board with, that I would find passion in, but that would also add to what I was already doing. And so lash extensions to me was like a no-brainer because you would learn about the anatomy of the eye, learn how to sculpt an eye with lashes. And I felt like that was in line with makeup. And I also, to be quite honest, I was like, at the time people were making bank doing lashes.
Right.
And I was like, cha-ching.
Right. You're like, sign me up.
Yeah. And that's how I started with lash extensions. But the first class I took was the worst.
Really?
Yeah, it was me and I signed up for this rinky-dink lash course. And it was me and the trainer. It was one day, a full day. Another girl was in the class with me, a mannequin. She gave us some, tools to use and was like, all right, cool, you're certified. do you want to be a ambassador for our company? Same day.
So they were just like a recruitment thing. They would
and I was like, this can't be it.
Right.
This cannot be it.
Right.
So I ended up taking like 4 more courses after that and started to, ask people to mentor me, basically. And I fell in love with the idea of helping people transform a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like makeup.
Just a little something.
Just a little something, a little
Yeah,
vibe.
a
And
little
it's
seasoning.
semi-permanent. So, I also at the time was already a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's taking so long to kind of
Right.
get into feeling refreshed. And I was like, this might be something I could get into because
Yeah.
I thought I would like it for myself too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you recently opened up your own studio. I know you've spent time at other studios and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and you've graduated and you have your own space, but that's something that was kind of like a learning lesson for you. So can you share some of what you've learned from opening your own studio? Because I'm sure there's a lot of lash artists that are looking to do that for themselves as well. What would you say has been one of the biggest lessons you've learned?
Do your research before you open a studio. I was really excited about finally having my own place.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first step that I took was going to look at spots.
Mm-hmm.
And this place was so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And the landlord was really excited. And I'll say this, landlords are interested in having tenants.
Right.
You have to be an expert on the kind of space you need and also the regulations for the place that you need. So my story is that I went and I signed the deed, the lease, sorry. I went and I signed the lease for the spot. And then I went to figure out what New Jersey needed for me to be in that space.
Right.
It ended up being like a 4-month process of, so for example, for New Jersey, you need 3 years of experience as a lash artist or as an esthetician to open your own space. And then when I got into the space, I learned that the HVAC system wasn't conducive to my my service.
Right.
So all of my products were freezing in winter and they were overheating in summer. I started losing clients because it was affecting the service that I was providing to them. And the landlord kind of did a few things to try and appease me, but it really didn't work for me. And then I almost got locked into a contract that had me, with them for about a year because that was the contract that I had. But I ended up, let me tell you something, ChatGPT is your friend.
Get me out of this contract
immediately
now. But say it professionally.
Yes. And I read through I fine-tooth combed this lease that they gave me, and I eventually got out of it. And I learned a lot about setting up your business properly, about partnering with people, and also like what my true ambition was. I was so excited about opening this spot. And when all of these things started to fall apart, I was like, for a quick second, I was like, damn, I already put out on Instagram that I had opened this business.
Right.
And how it's going to look that I have to close this now and open a different spot. And I had gotten into my head about that. But I think the biggest advice that I would give is become an expert on your service and what you need and what works for you right now.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest piece of advice I could give.
I love that because sometimes, like you said, you're so excited and you kind of brush over things that you didn't even think about, the HVAC and obviously your products messing up is you losing money. Now you're losing clients.
Yeah.
That's just the total opposite of what you wanted.
Yeah.
Moving into that space.
For sure.
So the lash industry has shifted so much in the last year plus.
Yeah.
With options like impressed lashes and these press-on lashes becoming popular. Lots of people are very much empowered to do their own lashes, especially with rising costs.
Yeah.
How has that affected your business, and like what are your thoughts on the changes?
So initially, honestly, I was a little afraid. As it happens in any industry, when things happen, you either adapt or you have to, you're not going to really compete well. So for me, I figured out that my type of client is somebody who is interested in having semi-permanent makeup. And so my business itself didn't really suffer like that. However, I did some research on, the impress and the temporary lashes. And the only thing I would say is there's a service for everybody in the industry. If you have budget constraints, because to be quite honest, lash extensions is a luxury service.
Yes.
Right? So if you have budget constraints and these are options that make sense for you, have at it.
Right.
To me, it's no different than a strip lash. You understand? Like
Yeah.
the difference is these things stay on for a week.
Right.
Your hygiene should be your biggest concern. It's akin to like not washing your lashes and getting things like blepharitis and those kind of things. You have to be super careful about all of the temporary forms of lashes, but I don't see why lash artists are getting super concerned about it, because what you should be concerned about is building your brand. And for me, that is women that like semi-permanent makeup. I have also, the way I have adapted is doing services that cater to people who are in the bridal industry. So what was great for me is I was able to marry those two things. So I offer bridal lashes as well as, the bridal makeup as a service. And my clients have stayed consistent. The great thing about where the lash industry is now, as much as people are saying, oh, nobody's doing lashes anymore, there's so many other exciting things that are happening in the lash industry. Like there's way more customization now.
Right.
There's like brown lashes.
Right.
We're moved away from like 3 lengths of lashes into or styles, and it's really a customization of the person's eye.
Right.
So there's super exciting things happening. So
yeah.
I feel really hopeful for where it should be headed.
I really love that because, I don't know what my FYP was giving me that like maybe month. All I was seeing was lash videos.
Yes. And it was like the lash industry is dying.
Yeah, but like it's too, and I get it. It's like, but still, it's like I have been quoted $1,000 to braid my hair. I've also been quoted $200 to braid my hair.
Right.
And it's the same thing like makeup. Not everybody could afford makeup when they're going out, or not that they mightn't be able to afford it. They just might not want to spend the money, which is totally understandable.
Correct.
But you're not really just paying for that service. You're paying for the expertise.
Correct.
And like you mentioned, blepharitis and all these things. I actually want to touch on some of the things that you mentioned, because being an expert in your field, you are helping your client avoid those things.
Yes.
So what are some of those like things you've seen that can go wrong, or things of that can go wrong when it comes to, maybe hygiene or mistakes where, when it comes to people applying lashes and maintaining it?
Yeah. Common things that happen would be people experience traction alopecia sometimes from lashes.
Really?
Yeah. Because the lash artist either attach the lash too close to their lash line. And so what it's doing is it's pulling the lash out of the follicle, the hair follicle, or it's attached to your skin. So there's that contact.
So where is that supposed to go? Where does it go?
It goes on the lash.
On top the lash.
On top the lash, but it's like 2 millimeters away from your lash line.
Oh, okay.
What happens with lash extensions is the moisture that you get or the hydration you get from your skin, a lash on top of your lash tends to dry out your lash. So if it's on your skin and it's attached way too close, it's going to just pull. As your lash grows, it's going to pull that lash out with it. The other thing that could happen is stickies, which is, you're supposed to isolate. Isolation means you single out that one lash and apply the lash. If people don't do that, they pull lashes together and they rip all the lashes out together as the lashes grow. Because your lashes grow in a life cycle. Give you a little bit of education here. Your lashes grow. Think of them like babies, teenagers, and adults.
Right.
The babies are the most susceptible ones to damage.
What's the time frame that they grow out?
Your lash cycle turns over every 3 weeks, but they don't turn over at the same time. So that's why when people get lash extension, they're like, "Oh, my lashes are falling out." It really isn't that the lash extension is creating the fallout. It's your natural lash cycle that's happening. It's just now you've seen a lash on top of it and you notice them more.
Right.
The other thing is blepharitis. If you don't clean your lashes, like you have to wash your lashes every day. There's buildup of dead skin and makeup that sits in there. And as a result of that, everybody has mites on their skin.
Right.
So now you're giving them something to feed off of. And that
yes, I was reading up on this. It's called
Demodex. Demodex, yeah.
That is
Demodex mites.
Yeah, it sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, it's disgusting. But again, I want to say this. Lash extensions work really well when the artist and the client partners for a good relationship. So if I'm a great lash artist, I'm taking care of the health of your lash by my application. and I'm styling you in a way that makes you feel confident and amazing. And as a great client, you are going to do your part by washing your lashes, maintaining a great, healthy, lifestyle when it comes to those things, and also returning every 2 to 3 weeks to get those things, you know, taken care of and refilled and those kind of things.
Yeah.
Lashes are stunning.
I know, and I've never gotten my lashes done, by the way, and because I have a little bit of eczema, I'm like, you know what? Is this a risk I'm willing to take? Absolutely not.
Probably not. Yeah.
So I just, because I never even used to use strip lashes, but I'm like, oh, a little dummy wispy, a little something.
Oh, dummies are like
just a little, a little,
yes,
a little
something.
like a 421
yes,
naked. Yes, that's my vibe.
Yeah, 421.
So,
but you just said something there that's really important. Not everybody is a candidate for lashes,
right?
And so that's another thing that people need to understand. You won't be a great candidate for every single beauty service that comes out on the market. And that's why the lash industry has adapted and has innovated and brought out things like all these other, the Lashify and the semi, the temporary ones.
Right. Do you think I can do that one?
I think you could.
We'll see. So I actually want to touch on this because I know you have some things in the works, which I'll let you get to.
Okay.
But I want to talk about your assisting journey. And you don't have to, say much. But
you don't have to say who you assist.
Exactly. But I would love to, because you've been through so many eras in your career. You've managed, you've assisted, like, so you've been in all those different, parts.
Yeah.
And I would love to know, like, some of the lessons that you have learned assisting on, bigger shoots and campaigns and, people that are wanting to
get into that.
Exactly.
Into assisting. Let me say this before I say anything about that. Assisting is the best way to understand the beauty industry, to understand how to move within that industry, and to figure out who you are and if you really want to do makeup.
For real. Because when I had assisted on some TV stuff when I just left Mac, and when I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I don't want to do.
Yeah. My first assisting job, I was like, also, this is not who I want to assist. That's what I figured out.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So the first time I assisted someone, the first thing I noticed was her kit was, can I say nasty? It was dirty.
We're not calling no names.
I'm not calling names, but the first person I assisted, her kit was
stink.
Dread.
It was stink?
It was dirty.
Stink.
It was stink. Dirty. And she would be cleaning brushes. Well, sorry, I would be cleaning the brushes on the set. It was also the first place that I had understood that there are some makeup artists that are in spaces that they're not qualified to be in terms of their knowledge of skin. So, for example, I ended up doing the woman of color. And then after I did her complexion, she took her back and finished her. But everybody else she did from the jump, I had learned about not just makeup assisting. I had learned not just about leads who shouldn't be in spaces for makeup, but also in hair. And so I quickly decided I need to find somebody who is like aligned with where I want to be and the kind of things I want to do. So and truthfully, I didn't really know anything about assisting. I was in the bridal space, and one day I sat down and I did a vision board, and I was like, I want to see my makeup in magazines and I want to see my makeup in commercials and that kind of stuff. Assisting is also where you figure out what kind of things you make money doing in makeup. Example, I no longer want to do things in magazines. I no longer want things in editorial. I need money, girl. And so
hair is a hug because that's all we have to give.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that.
Hair is a hug. That was great work. Bye.
Yeah.
See you next time. So yeah, assisting was the best thing I could have ever done for my career. So I assist Jaleesa Jaikaran on set.
Oh Lord.
I don't want to assist anybody else. Okay.
You assist other people.
I have assisted other people, but the most learning and mentorship that I have gotten from makeup is from you. Don't cry now.
Don't make me blush on my own.
Yeah. I told you the story I learned about you in a book.
Oh yes, the Crystal Wright book.
Yeah, yeah. So when I was trying to figure out what kind of artist I wanted to be, I was like, I didn't know what to do. So I started scouring the internet and doing some research for information to figure out how to get into the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I come across her book. Went through the entire book. It talked about rates and whatever else. And then there were featured artists at the back of the book. And you were at the back of the book. And I saw that you were from Trinidad. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to stalk her.
Listen, I was like, I have to make sure. Because, anywhere I go, I talk about Trinidad.
You represent.
And you know what's so crazy? When I was in that book, I really didn't have much going on enough.
I mean,
I had like maybe one or two campaigns.
I would have never known. I was like, yeah, this chick. I don't know. I was just drawn to you. And so when I started following you on Instagram and I saw the kind of work you were doing, I was like, this resonates with me. The kind of skin work you were doing. And that was like, how long is this? 4 years? 4 years ago. No. I read about you maybe 6 years ago. 6 years ago, because I knew about you a year and something before I started assisting.
Right.
And so I started to look at the kind of work you were doing, and there were like your page was littered with women of color. And for a long time, I was in Connecticut, and none of the jobs I was working on had women of color in it. So like you just were just a breath of fresh air, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stalk this shit. And I reached out and I said hi, whatever. And a year later, you circled back and was like, hey, do you think you're interested in assisting? And I was like this.
No, remember, we had this event where I met you. Well, yeah, before.
You had done a benefit event, and someone I had known at the time, she brought me to the event because
Wait, the Wonder Beauty one.
Wonder Beauty. Yes, yeah. Wonder Beauty.
Mm-hmm. And I had a masterclass there.
Yes, and you were in this cute pink outfit.
Which came with a pants that I did not wear.
Really? Oh, yeah.
I just wore it as a dress because I'm short.
So tiny. But yeah, and I said hi and I introduced myself. A year later, you circled back and asked if I would be interested in assisting. And I was like, are you allowed to curse on this podcast now?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yes.
Oh my God, I laugh. It's so scandalous.
But yeah, you taught me everything from how to act on a set, what to expect on a set, the do's, the don'ts. And the biggest thing I learned from you is, I shouldn't say the biggest thing. One of the more important things I learned from you was how to interact in business. And every single technique I think you've taught me, I've translated it into bridal. And it's just elevated my artistry. And it's been incredible. Like, I can't. Every single time I'm on set with you, I learn something new. No lie.
No, I so appreciate you because when I was assisting, I know that the strength of an artist is their team.
Right.
If you have a weak team, you're not there's no way.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
And I've had all of my firsts. No, not all.
Not all.
Most of my firsts with you.
But you know what I enjoyed? Tell me if this was OD, because I feel like anytime I have new assistants, I'm always like, oh yeah, here's a brush you could do. Because on certain people, they don't let you do makeup for a very long time. And you're just there cleaning brushes. I'm like, here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And then you ask me what shade.
Nervous heart attack.
I'm like, you tell me what shade. I don't know.
You always...
What color corrector? I don't know.
Yeah. One of the first things that I was like, oh my God, my heart is going to jump on my chest, was you were like, what do you think? And I'm like, it's red. The color corrector is... No. Just what do you think? Or if I had chosen something that wasn't just right, you'd be like, are you sure that that's it? And I'd be like, no. But because of you taking that approach and being so hands-on in terms of like, if you're not paying attention, you won't learn. You do a very good job of
making sure you're paying attention.
Because
my mind frame is like, okay, you're not going to assist me forever. So what you're here to do? You're here to learn. You're not here
Yeah.
just to clean some brushes.
Yeah.
So like even not just you, but anybody that assists me, I'm just like, so what do you think? Because I want you to be empowered to be like,
Correct.
look at the makeup with an eye that's like something is kind of off. Not just like, it look good. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, around her mouth, slightly a little gray.
Mhm.
Oh, it have a little dot on she thing here.
Mhm.
Because, you know, for obviously, if you, this is the first time you listen to the podcast, we do a lot of beauty shoots.
Mhm.
And I pride myself in like, you don't need to retouch that much. You
Yeah.
know, like we're
Yeah.
gonna make sure the skin is on point. And also there's a lot of brands that don't retouch anymore.
Yeah.
If you're in CVS has a thing where there's
Yeah.
no retouching.
Yeah.
So it's just like you become a stronger artist by being a little bit critical of
Yeah.
like what's happening. So that's why I like to do that, because at the end of the day, when I assisted Kabuki, I knew I wasn't going to be there forever. I know you're not going to be, you know, assisting me forever. So
will.
at the end of the day, she's like, call me. But, you know, at the end of the day, like I actually really enjoyed that because it wasn't something that I got to experience. Like, yes,
Yeah.
eventually they'll trust you enough, but it wasn't like they will guide you, you know? And not to
Yeah.
say that anything was wrong. I'm happy with the people that I assisted, but like you said, it's just like, okay. And also, side note, assist people that you actually like to
Yeah.
work with, because
Yeah.
there's so many people you could assist and you're not going to vibe with everybody, and that's fine. But when I was assisting, my thought was like, I want to see this person succeed. I want to be, you know what I mean? It's not about me, it's about networking. It's not like, because as much as I'm on social and you see me doing, when it's time to work, it's I don't even know what my phone is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know what my phone is.
Yeah. I want to say too, like, you have advocated for me in so many spaces. You have taught me how to ask and advocate for myself in makeup spaces. And that's not common at all. I've learned from other people that's not common. I almost think that my assisting you, I'm probably like, I have not seen horrible sides of the industry because of who I assist. And that is a big deal. I can say I'm a stronger artist because I ended up with somebody who really cares about not just your jobs, but you care about my growth. Right. And I think that has been one of the best. You changed my life, girl.
I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you so much too.
No, but it's so, you know what? It's just like, we're not going to be here forever.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you're not going to come across things like that all the time, because, you know, that was just a one-off situation for me. But it was very disappointing because I was like, we were all here working until like $2 or $3, you know, 2 or 3. Like, if everybody else got paid their overtime, what is the extra 150 or whatever the case is? So, you know, I'm happy to be, I mean, listen, I went toe to toe. Like, I'm be very respectful, but I'm happy to be that for others, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have somebody assisting you. Whoever else assisting me, they're gonna have other people assisting them, and you're going to have to learn how to obviously always be professional, but stand up for yourself.
Yes.
Because what we doing?
Exactly.
What we doing here?
Yeah.
Because the work done.
And it looks amazing.
The work looking good.
Anyway,
so
give me my money.
Exactly.
Pay me my money.
Exactly. So you have shown so much resilience, not only in your career, but in your personal life. And with everything that you've gone through, with your health journey to balancing motherhood. Mind you, we cut to the part where Anya has 4 kids now, yeah? We don't know when that happened in the story, but it happened.
We started it too.
What helps you stay strong and passionate about your work? Because you're balancing so much. You got to pick up the boys from practice.
Oh,
then this one doing what he doing, and it's
a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. I think that the biggest thing that my family has leaned on is our community. So, Brandon is huge in terms of like helping out. His job is one that allows him to be flexible. So he's literally, every time you call, he is like, go.
Really?
Yeah, that dude is a G. Yeah. Every time, okay, I'm feeling emotional. Every time you're like, we have jobs X, Y, and Z, he'll be like, go, I'll figure it out. Always. Always. There's not one time, unless I have another job book.
Right.
There's not one time he has ever said, you can't go. You can't do it because I have something else. He always makes it happen. And his parents they are a support system here. Mind you, they're in Brooklyn. they'll take the kids if they need to, if I have work to do. Which they've done many times.
Right.
But also where I'm in Jersey now, I have met moms that live in the same community, and we do the same thing for each other.
Right. That's
So
really
I'll
nice.
pick up boys, or they'll pick up boys, or I have built a community of people who I trust around me, and that is how I get to do what I do. And I know that, like, I love makeup so much. When I leave them, I know that I leave in them to do something I love.
Right.
And so that's what makes it worth it.
Right.
But it's juggle central over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because weddings, lash clients. I have you all over the place.
Which, by the way, if you think about it, I get to fly all over the place with you too. So I get to see the world a little bit
fun.
While these kids are growing up too, and the checks are nice.
Yeah, I think what's the most fun for me? The SPs.
That was the most. Also, I won a lot of brownie points for that, by the way, because they were crushing on one of the girls that we had done.
Oh yes,
right?
So they really think what you do is cool, because most of the times kids are like, they don't even understand.
And they're boys, so the only time they think something that it's like, they know I do makeup and been doing makeup for years, but they'll take notes when it's people they know. It's like when I did Tyler's lashes, right? Like, oh my god, she's so bad.
Okay, she just casually said I did Tyler's lashes.
Yeah, well, that was cool. So that was a big deal. That was really exciting. That was the ball drop.
Yes.
2022. No,
that just that just happened.
Yeah.
You see how life has hit you fast.
And then Jaleesa took me to the SPs to assist her.
That was so much fun. That was so the first, like, we were on the red carpet. Yeah. But it was so intense.
It was.
But we learned so much when it's so intense like that. I actually don't mind. No. Because I'm like, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah. It was.
The fact that it was 3:10 and we weren't done. And 3:25, we were on the red carpet.
Right. So, when people talk about, like, you watched, shows, and you see stuff happening as they're getting to the stage and a shoe being put on, and you're like, that was the first time I experienced that.
Yeah.
Wild. And that was a wardrobe change shoe.
It was a lot of things.
It was a lot of things.
But we had a good time. Flage and Livy Dunn.
Yeah. It was
fab.
Amazing.
And of course, our Ulta Beauty fam.
Yeah.
Always looking out. Yeah. Okay, so if you can keep one beauty product forever, like, I don't care what come out, what discontinue, but just make sure I have this one thing.
Bobbi Brown face base.
Really?
Yeah. Clutch every time. Every time. Why?
That is so funny because I love Bobbi Brown face base.
Yeah.
A little shea butter, a little vitamin E.
Yeah.
I'm just like, please don't touch it. You know, once you like something.
Right. The formula.
You have to pretend you don't like it.
So don't, yeah.
So nothing happens.
Yeah. Because every time you like something, they change the formula or it's discontinued. That needs to stay. I don't know what they have inside of that. That is magic.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Do you prep your brides with that?
I do.
Is it too heavy though?
No. New.
Really?
Yeah. Because I do a lot of skin prep on brides. Like, I start them first. I do masks, under eye mask. I do all of that, and I let them sit. So by the time I get back to them, this has already like a little seasoning. It marinates into their skin, and we're ready for makeup.
So what setting sprays you like?
Love. Okay. Setting
for your bride
or different. Okay, so I actually use Charlotte Tilbury. And then I go in with either One Size or Krylon. Krylon has been like clutch.
Right.
But yeah, that is like.
Yeah. So there's always a debate with makeup artists. Some people don't necessarily use primer because if you spend enough time on skincare, maybe it's not necessary. But some artists do really love it. For an artist that does a lot of bridal clients, do you use primer or do you not?
I learned this from you, which makes a lot of sense. If your skin doesn't need something, you don't need to overthink it. Right. But if they do need it, use it in the spaces they need it.
Right.
So for a lot of brides, 90% of the brides that I have, T-zone is crazy oily. I'll use a primer there, a mattifying primer there. But I won't put that all over the skin.
Right.
So I use intentional placement because of Jaleesa Jaikaran.
Don't make me blush. But it makes sense, right? But even like complexion Like,
it makes perfect. You don't have to contour somebody if their cheekbones are to the gods.
Right.
You don't have to do a lot of the things that you think that you're programmed to do. You have to look at a face and decide, what does this person need?
Right.
And what do they want to achieve with their look?
Right.
And then you work from there.
Yeah. And we see that a lot with people with multiple shades on their skin.
Yeah.
If it's dark, then if one foundation in the center and then something else on the perimeter, and that's just
and
what
you
it
might
is.
still have to color correct on top of that sometimes.
You know, were you thinking about, Janae?
Yes.
Yeah. So we did one of our girly pops, Janae, beautiful model. She's the first model to walk Louis Vuitton, open the Louis Vuitton show. Stunning. And it was just like, we did her makeup and we thought it was so gorgeous. And then we kept seeing like
some,
was it like green? And I was like, we color corrected it, and that's just sometimes that happens. And we color corrected on top, which I usually don't do, but sometimes you have to do. And we'll insert it here so you guys can see the makeup. But that was a fun one.
That was so fun.
That was fun.
That's for Fashion Week. That
was Fashion Week like 2 seasons ago. So for other moms or artists who are managing big life changes and or challenges, what's one piece of advice would you give them?
Control the controllables. That's it. You don't have the ability to handle more than you can handle. So whatever is in your wheelhouse to fix, focus on that. And I have gone through a lot of these things. And my biggest piece of advice is, I don't know if this is for everybody, get a relationship with God. Let him handle the things that you can't handle, because that's what he's designed to do.
Right.
And you focus on what you could focus on. Amen.
No, for real.
Yeah.
Because even if it's not God, find something to believe in, because it can't just be us down here figuring it out by ourselves. It can't. So what's one thing you wish more people would understand about the time, artistry, and effort that goes into lash extensions?
There's so much that goes into becoming a great lash tech, a great lash artist. And it's not just the technique of applying lashes onto your lash. It is understanding infectious diseases. It's understanding who are great clients for lashes. It is fully understanding your craft to be able to educate a client. And the goal is that you want to build a brand and a business that allows people to fully trust you. And to be able to do that, we invest a lot of time and money in not just the learning of technique, but in, truly like understanding anatomy too. So again, like I said before, there's a lash artist for everybody, but you want the lash artist that can help you achieve something that is beautiful and wonderful while protecting your body and your health as well. Yeah.
That's so important.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you said that. So we've talked about a lot of things: assisting, life, family, lash artistry, bridal. But we want to know, are there any exciting projects or goals on the horizon for you?
There is an exciting project. I actually mentioned this the last time because we were in the middle of doing it. But my book is coming out on assisting.
Tell us more about this book on assisting. We would love to know.
The book is called The Makeup Assist. And the idea of the book is really to guide someone who's interested in assisting or becoming a makeup artist that works on set. Guide that person through the process of fully understanding what it means to assist. So it will cover the foundations of what you should have together, like color correcting, dermaplaning, all of those things. But it will also walk you through the do's and don'ts of being on set. Like, one of the biggest things I learned is not because you are on a job means that it's your job, and not to take, credit for a lead artist's work, not to attempt to network. I know this is one of the biggest things too. Everybody thinks when you're on set, it's your time to network. It's actually not your place to network.
Right.
And so it's a lot of those things. It even covers how to develop your LLC, how to put things in place to make you successful in terms of looking after your money. What else do I have in that wonderful book?
30% taxes.
Jesus. Yeah, boy. Covers that too. But it really is a wonderful guide. I actually cover too how to correspond with production teams. Looking at a call sheet and understanding the call sheet.
Right.
Understanding who is on that call sheet, who is important to you, who you need to, make mention of in certain things. Like, it is everything that I have learned from you, and things that I've learned on my own too. Because I know a few times, like, we are looking for assistance too, and not just with you, with other people that I've assisted. And I even assisted someone that you recommended me to, and she didn't even know how to use me. But because I had done such a good job with you, I kind of taught her how to let me assist her. And she was like, girl, you the bomb, diggity fresh. Yeah. Karina. Milan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love this.
I love this too. What? No, okay. Don't say that.
Hold on.
Say
I love this.
Yeah.
I'm so excited really for you. We're going to make sure and add you when you have the link. We'll make sure and add it to the notes. Coming
out in December.
Oh, it's coming out December. You have a date?
I don't have a date yet.
So December 2024.
Can I ask you on your podcast to write my forward for me?
Yes.
Really?
Of course. Imagine if I'd said no, my lord.
Like, yeah, this book is trash.
I have to proofread it. Thanks.
Yes.
No. Yes.
I actually mentioned you a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
You should put my name as Jane, though.
No. You're the bomb, diggity fresh, girl.
I appreciate you. You have poured into us so much, Anya.
I appreciate you.
You are an inspiration. I don't know if you know this. I really don't know if you know this, but you're an inspiration. Like, just hearing your story. I don't think people know your story. Like, you had one dream, and I talk about this, and I've talked about this a couple of times in the podcast, but to have to break up with a dream that you once had is very difficult.
It's still hard. It's like, I'll cry about it sometimes too.
Because it's something that you once wanted.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then you're like, do you still want it? Or do you know what I mean? But it's a lot. I've had some of my dreams change too. I've been planned to like have a podcast and be, in front of the camera. I wanted to like, and it's just certain things that I just don't want anymore. But then sometimes you still like innately have a relationship with it internally.
Yeah.
But I say all of that to say it's just, you are inspiration to many, and I wanted your story to be shared because, not all the time you get to, you don't know who's out there and the things that they're going through.
Yeah.
Never would you have thought you've been through, cancer treatment and, you've had, your kids and you've had surgeries, you have all these things going on. But you just see the glam the glam online. You see the glam beast.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's why I named this podcast The Life of a Makeup Artist, because life is so encompassing and there's so much more going on that leans into, our careers and all the things that go on. But, like you said, having that community is important, having, people around you that support you, and also setting boundaries, not only with yourself, but like with others.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I feel so honored to be here.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, Jesus.
I'm like, I'm casual. I'm like texting. I'm like, hey, want to come? But no, to me, it's important. It's not just, obviously I'll have my, the big names and the Marios and this and that. But for me, it's important that everybody's story is shared. And that's the reason why I started this podcast. I
really appreciate that.
So I just want to thank you. If you want to share how to find you on socials, please share that so we can, slide into your DMs.
Slide on. So I go by Anya, the Glam Beast, on Instagram. Do I need to spell that?
No, we'll put it in. Put it in.
Okay. Yeah. So I go by Anya, the Glam Beast, on Instagram, and I have a separate bridal page, which is Anya, the Glam Beast _bridal, because this wonderful woman here told me, girl, anybody want to see those two things together, separate them. And actually, it worked. It worked.
Really?
Again, good advice.
Because the bridal girlies don't care about
the set stuff.
Yeah.
And the set people don't want to see the bridal
They're
stuff.
like, ew, what's that?
Fantastic advice again.
That is so funny.
And I didn't take your advice earlier. it took me I was so tied to the idea of all my makeup is on the same page. Best.
Really?
Best.
Yeah, because the bridal people want to feel like they're scrolling through a catalog.
Yeah, they don't want to. No, they don't want to deal up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this last question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, both of us are from Trinidad. We didn't even talk about this. Both of us are from Trinidad. How you been up here for how long? Because I've been here for 11 years.
14.
14. Oh wow. So not too far apart.
No, actually 15. 15 years.
Oh, okay. And you still have like your family in Trinidad, or are most of them in the US or Canada now?
No, when I moved, everybody was still in Trinidad except one sister. And now my family's between Canada and England, but my aunts and they are still in Trinidad.
Yeah.
That's hard for me. Because when I go home, I usually have a place to go home to.
Right.
And now that's not a thing anymore. Like my family house is not there anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened to it?
It was sold.
Oh. Okay.
Everybody moved. So
you going back home for Carnival?
Nope. This is my first. Okay, so the first time I didn't go back was COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started going back to do carnival makeup. And this year I can't because my kids are in high school now.
Right.
And they have a lot more demands.
Right.
So, again, the motherhood thing weighing the pros and cons of what you can and can't do.
So we'll cross our fingers 2026.
Boom, boom, chicka, chicka.
Yeah.
You going?
I want to play. How long I play?
Okay.
Because remember, I used to go to Europe.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, we have a whole next conversation. This is how me and Anya is in real life. But I had so much fun. Anya, thank you so much for making the time, coming to the Life of a Makeup Artist podcast. You guys already know we are on Instagram and on TikTok. And if you want to see the full visual episodes, you can find that over on YouTube. You can search my name at Jaleesa Jaikaran or at the Life of a Makeup Artist. And of course, you already know the reviews help. So whatever your streaming platform is, make sure you leave 5-star for our 5-star guests. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.
Oh my God. That was really good.